Blood moon alert, Leo. The blood moon is on the 27th if you're using Eastern Daylight Time, and if you're using Greenwich Mean Time, it's on the 28th. Nevertheless, the blood moon, the total lunar eclipse, is in the sign of Aries the Ram. That's going to be intense. Also, the new moon is a partial solar eclipse, and that's in the sign of Virgo the Virgin on the 13th of September. And the equinox, the autumn equinox, is on the 23rd of September, when the sun will ingress from the sign of Virgo into Libra early in the morning on the 23rd. That is a lot going on. Now, the sun is in Libra, sextile Saturn on the 23rd as well. And Saturn will be in Sagittarius. This is a little formula that we're going to put the answer to. We're going to, it's a little Rosicrucian Kabbalistic formula. We're going to put at the end where we usually put our afterglow, our planetary aspects. We're going to put the planetary formula, and we're going to, give you a little answer for it, and that'll make it more fun for you and for us. So we're just going to utilize these. Again, these are little Rosicrucian Kabbalistic formula. They're very, very helpful in figuring out what's going on and getting kind of a feel, an intuitive feel or a gut instinct about what's going on, which is also very helpful. Now, let's see how your ruling planet of the sun affects you this month, Leo. I'm Pastor Rosemary, the Astrology Angel. Thank you for joining us. This is an angelic horoscope transmission from the mighty guardian angel Michael, the mighty guardian angel who's the guardian over all of the fire signs, and your specific Leo angel Virchiel, who resides over your fixed fire nature. And these are his messages for you in love, money, and health. First, we have the love transmission. The love transmission, basically, there's going to be a lot of energy. There's going to be a lot of power. With the partial solar eclipse on the 13th, and the equinox on the 23rd, and the blood moon on the, we'll say 27th, again, Eastern Daylight Time, or the 28th, for Greenwich Mean Time, in Aries. That's a lot of energy. And this is how it's going to come at you, Leo. People are gonna sucker punch you. That's what's gonna happen. You're gonna get sucker punched. Because Leo doesn't like to get their tail stepped on. Leo doesn't like to get punked. Leo doesn't like it when people slight or disrespect you. And Leo, they say that Leos don't like to be disappointed, but that's not really so true, because Leos know how to turn a disappointment into something good and something fun. But what Leo really doesn't like is getting sucker punched. So, just understand that people are going to come at you, and they're going to say, if you do this, I'll do this. So you're going to have to take everything with a grain of salt. So in other words, you're going to have to stand in your own rules. Just stand firm in your own rules. Control yourself. Follow your own rules. Don't try to control anybody else. And when people come into your realm, into the lion's den, you just simply have to keep your rules in place. And if you think there's anywhere in your life where you can drop your rules and people will treat you well, think again. Because people will always breach whatever they can. Now, if you want someone to come into your den, then, you have to make sure into the lion's den that it's your way or the highway. You have to leave your rules in place. Again, the minute you take your rules away, especially in matters of love, where Leo tends to lead with the heart, which is a bad idea. You don't want to lead with the head, and you don't want to lead with your fiery heart, your passionate heart. You want to lead with your gut instincts. And you want to keep all your chakras soothed and calm. We'll get that into that more into the health, answer part of this transmission, part of this, because that's a whole other story. But understand that in matters of love, they're going to come at your ego. They know not to come at your heart. They know you're compassionate. They know you can take anything in the heart. It's the ego where they feel your Achilles heel, so to speak, resides. Right in the ego. So what Leo needs to do in matters of love and family and friendship and all of that this month is sort of do the ritual. It's sort of a Catholic ritual like the Passion of St. Teresa, where you see the angel going to throw a sort of a spear through the solar plexus, not through the heart. You know how to do that, through the ego. And you allow this chakra to breathe. And you see your worst fear sort of coming at you into your solar plexus, and you breathe it in and out, because the chakra has a front and back. And we're getting into that a little soon. This is in the health transmission. However, this is going to be very important for you in matters of love and even for your financial issues this month. You're going to have to breathe it in. You're going to have to deal with it in the ego. And what is the ego but the fears of the body? So just understand that. And if you fear that somebody sucker punched you and got away with something, you don't have to get so upset if they get away with something. So what? Who cares? Just do the best you can. If you want to be generous, fine, but it's your decision and it's your job to control it, not control others. Control yourself, to discipline yourself in a manner in which you can still function. You want to have your self-discipline in such a way that you can still function and still have a good time. Okay? So that'll be helpful for you this month, because that's going to happen. Sucker punches. Now for your money transmission. Those who are curious are going to try to come around and try to snow you, They try to tell you their sob story, or, try to trick you or whatever. They say, "Oh, I'm curious," yada yada. They're going to try to trick you, especially up until the 23rd. After the 23rd, after the equinox, it'll get better. All right? So just understand that. And this is in your financial life, in your work, your business. These are the areas where people are going to try to sort of slink their way in with curiosity. And that's okay. It's all right. Nothing wrong with that. But you want to be more at your best. So make sure that if you're going to invite someone in, that you're prepared. And if you're not prepared, say, "I'm not really prepared at the moment. I'll tell you when I am." You don't have to over-explain yourself either. So don't over-explain yourself. And don't get into the habit of commiserating with people, because this will cause you to get into toxic situations financially that you don't want to get involved with. In this financial part of the transmission, the mighty Archangel Michael has given a signal that we should put in some information about some issues about CERN and people who feel that there's a lot of things converging in September, in this blood moon. Of course, there's a lot of religions and cultures that have their particular holy days and strong convergences happening at this time. And these things are true. And the news agencies are going to try to put a block over the effects of these things. But the important thing to remember is, just because something's important, it doesn't mean it has to be something negative. These things were always at first intended to be something good. And people don't seem to take any interest in anything or think anything is actually worthwhile unless there's something dangerous involved or something terrible. It doesn't need to be terrible for it to be real. And then the other aspect that people have expressed interest in, and that Archangel Michael wants us to cover, is, and Virtuel is okay with that, is to handle the idea about CERN. Yes, CERN was turned on in 2015. Yes, it was the beast was resting for a while. Yes, that's true. And CERN is delving into, in 2012, Higgs boson was discovered, the God particle. So, they say that nothing happened in 2012 just because maybe something good got discovered. That means nothing happened. See, if something's good, then people think it's not worthwhile. But it is worthwhile. And what goes on with CERN is that dimensions are breached. Antimatter brought into the realm of matter is a breaching of the dimension, existence and non-existence. And anyone who can create anything out of existence and non-existence, or matter and antimatter, probably indeed feels that they've gotten into a realm of the mind of God. I mean, because what are people trying to do? They're trying to understand God. Why? Because people want to feel that they can, because people fear death, quite frankly, and they fear change. So they want to control it. So they want to control God. But, greater minds than this one has all that figured out. And this is why Kabbalah is very good, because it's a study of where science and spirituality meet. Magic is nothing but where miracles and scientific rigor meet. That's all. So these are things that we're not going to do away with. This is just, whoever is the best magician, or whoever is the highest, whoever can cause something to happen that other people cannot understand, then everybody should be in fear and trembling of that individual. And that's where we have Jesus Christ as the King of the universe in this particular mind, because that's the culture. So everybody has their own culture of how to handle this part of the human experience. And these dimensions are being breached as we speak. So we got to get used to sharing deeper things. And indeed we all are. And that's why we're all sharing so much. It helps. So keep the sharing civilized. And keep it magnanimous. And keep it upbeat and constructive. And positive. And you'll do much better. Okay, Leo? Now we're getting into the health transmission portion, where you need to eat lightly, Leo, because the sun is in Virgo in September, and your stomach may get a little, you're going to be really hungry, but then you're going to eat, and you're going to feel getting kind of sick or nauseous from it. So just eat very light. Eat lighter. If you're a meat eater, eat lighter fleshes like fish. If you're a vegetarian, don't go so heavy on the sauces. Cut down on some of the heavy oils. Okay? You want to eat more lightly. The nervous system and the intestines are going to come into play, and you want to keep your third chakra calm and soothed. Now, after you've done this sort of breathing technique to allow your ego to accept your fears, that might also upset your stomach and your small intestine. It could upset your nervous system. The pancreas and the adrenals reside in the third chakra also, and of course a woman's first chakra is sort of up in her second chakra. So, sometimes women, it's hard for us to do the sort of spiritual alchemy that was produced by men who have different ductless glands in different portions of their anatomy and different chakras. So we women have to do the best we can with that. But everybody can do well to calm the breathing and just be aware of their own body and just kind of, if you want to start to be able to scan other people and be sort of a medical intuitive, the best thing to do is to start with scanning your own body and knowing your own energy, and go ahead and work with some of these. Just because a man wrote a spiritual alchemy breathing system doesn't mean it doesn't have value. Of course it does. Just, because they always have portions for the females, but, they don't really do that to be mean, so to speak. They do it more to be protective. That's all. To, try to take the brunt. That's the only reason. That's the reason at the heart of it. Understand that, and that will explain why these things have been handled in this manner. Okay, now we're going to get into the afterglow, the planetary aspects, and some of the facets that we feel are important for you to cover this month. Oh, and if you're having any kind of trouble with your body, please check with your proper physician. Okay, then we're also going to go over the planetary formula as well. Okay, remember the sun is transiting through Virgo to ingress into Libra on the equinox on the 23rd of the month. On the 5th, we have Sun trine Pluto, which is retrograde currently. We have on the 23rd the Sun sextile Saturn, and that's the autumn equinox. And that's the Sun ingress Leo. Now that's what we're going to go over in the formula. And on the 30th, we have Mercury conjunct the Sun. Okay, here's the formula. On the 5th, we have the Sun in Virgo on that day, on the 5th. And we have the Sun in Virgo trine Pluto retrograde in Capricorn. So what is the answer for that? What does that do? What energy does that produce when you do a Rosicrucian Kabbalistic problem? What's the answer? The answer is all or nothing people have much to offer. If anxiety is controlled, because the reason is that they offer excitement. So this is a month where people are going to try to get other people excited about this situation or excited about that situation. Like, it's kind of like a parent who wants their kid to be excited for Christmas. That's what's going on. And there's nothing really wrong with that. So what you need to do is understand that people who feel that all or nothing is sort of an extreme way of looking at things, there's a lot of people that are like that. And if you just turn down their anxiety volume, and these people have much to offer in the way of making things more fun. That's all. Give them ways to express themselves creatively and not so destructively. So they're not destructive to themselves and they're not destructive to other people. Just got to lessen anxiety, that's all. Okay, Leo, thank you for joining us. This is your angelic horoscope transmission from the mighty guardian angel Michael and your personal Leo angel Virchiel. I'm Pastor Rosemary, the astrology angel. Thanks for joining us, Leo, and join us again next month.